Hello everybody, Courtney here from How to Loom Your Dragon. Today we are going to be making the baby kangaroo. Yay! This video is dedicated to Hailie DeRosia. So Hailie, I hope you enjoy and I hope you make the baby kangaroo. Yay! So cute. This one is a gray one. In this tutorial I will be showing you how to make the brown one. But if you want to make the gray one, you just have to switch the colors. So instead of using the caramel brown, you would use the gray. And instead of using the burgundy brown, you would use the black. And that's pretty much the only difference, really. So for this tutorial, you need one loom. I also recommend that you get 20 gauge wire. I use bead landing wire. And we will be using that to pose the arms and legs a little bit. Otherwise, the legs will kind of be sprawled out like this when you take it off. Okay, so it's kind of used to squeeze the legs together a little bit. You will need about 220 of your body color. That is, for me, that I'm going to be using is the caramel brown. All right, you need about 30 of the burgundy, which is a dark brown. 70 white for the stomach. 3 black, and 2 eye color. Okay. If you are doing the gray kangaroo, you'll need about 220 of the gray bands, 33 of the black, 70 white, and 2 eye color. Okay? That's pretty much what you'll need. If you want to add a little bow like I did, I don't know if it looks cheesy or not, but I kind of wanted to try making a little bow. You'll also need 5 pink, and then for the grass in her hand, I just used 2 green bands of 2 different colors. So one is the light green and one is the dark green. So that's totally up to you if you want to do that as well. Alright, so if you want to see the brown guy, go to the end of this video and check him out. Alright, so we're going to begin here. We're going to start with the back legs. Okay, so I'm going to grab my caramel brown. Obviously, if you're making a gray kangaroo, you're going to be using gray instead of caramel, like I said before. Alright, so I'm taking 2 at a time. Alright, here I am taking 3. Now I am going to double loop single. Here I'm going to take a caramel brown and I'm going to wrap it around this peg, creating 5 loops with it. And I'm going to take my hook and I'm going to loop up just this double looped band like this. Then you're going to push that down. Then you're going to grab another double looped caramel and put that over that, like that. And again. And again. That is, I used a skin tone brown here, but if you don't have that, just use caramel. Okay. You can't really tell the difference anyway once it's stretched out. All right, take 3 of your burgundy. 3 more of your burgundy. And then a single double looped burgundy, like that. And then we are going to cap that off, wrapping it around the peg, creating 5 loops. Whoops. And now I'm going to loom up, okay? So I'm going under the capping band. You should know basic looming here if you're doing this video. This should not be your first project. If it is, good luck and hope you do it. But don't get upset with me if you don't know what I'm doing, because I'm doing basic looming here, and you should know how to do that. Alright. Or basic looping, whatever it's called, looming or looping, I don't even know. Alright, here, obviously you want to grab the top 2, which are the 2 diagonals. Okay. Then you want to grab these vertical bands. Then these, and these. Oops. These. Alright, I'm going to take a band of any color, doesn't matter, because we're going to take it off later. I'm just going to take a white band, go in through all the bands, and pull, make a slip knot. Make a slip knot. Then you can pull this off. Be very gentle though, because you don't want the double looped bands to break. So cute. You can use your hook to help you lift the bands off. Okay. So there we go. Alright. So this is one leg. You need to make another one, but you want to make sure you make it opposite, okay? So you're going to repeat this video, but instead of putting the bands on like this, you want to put them on like this, so it's going to be symmetrical to what you see on the screen. And if you don't know how to do that, you need to take a mirror and put it in front of your screen and do it the way you see it in the mirror. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to look at my leg and I'm going to organize the bands because they're a little bit twisted. So just taking my bands, untwisting them. Just gives a nicer look to it when it's done. They're not twisted up. Okay. Alright, so there you have your two legs, okay? Alright, so now we're going to make his little arms. These are very easy to make. I'm going to take 3 of my caramel bands and 3 more. And then I'm going to double loop one, double loop another one. This is a skin tone brown, but if you don't have that, use a caramel. Double loop a burgundy, and double loop another burgundy. I'm going to cap this off by wrapping the band, a burgundy band around the peg, creating again 5 loops. Then I'm going to take a caramel, double loop it, put it right there, and then I'm going to wrap another one around that peg, creating 5 loops with it, just like that. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to loop this band like that. And then I'm going to loop the rest of it. So let's go in here, loop up here, just like this. And then again, I'm taking a random color, white, doesn't matter, and doing a slip knot at the end. Just like this. And then again, you can take your hook, you can go into the capping bands and just tug on them a little bit. Make sure you go through all 5, tug on them, even them out a little bit. And just make sure your bands aren't all twisted. So just untwist the bands. Roar. There we go, just like that. Alright, so there's one arm. You want to make a second one. You can do the second one exactly the same because it'll turn out the same whether you do it symmetrical or not. Alright, so you'll have your 2 little arms. These are the elbows here, these are going to be the paws here. Okay? So we have our 2 little arms and our 2 little legs. We're going to make the ears now. So I am taking a burgundy brown, wrapping it around my hook, creating 5 loops. 4, 5. Alright, then I'm going to take another burgundy onto my hook, and I'm going to pull all the loops of that one onto that band. I'm going to slide it down. Okay. Now I'm going to take a caramel. I'm going to wrap it around my hook, creating 3 loops. Then I'm going to take a white, wrapping that around my hook, creating 3 loops, and a caramel, creating 3 loops. Okay. Once I've done that, I'm going to take this loop of the burgundy and just replace it onto my hook like that. Then I'm going to take 3 of my caramel bands, onto my hook. And first I'm going to pull over the burgundy, then the caramel, then the white, then the caramel, then the other burgundy. And I'm going to bring the loops of the other end of those three caramel bands onto my hook like this. Okay. And now I'm just going to take a double looped caramel onto my hook and pull that onto that, replace that onto here. Okay. And then I'm just going to take like a white band, or you could put it on a holding hook, or you could take a band and just tie off your end here. Okay, so just doing a slip knot with a random color band there. Okay, so this is one ear. Make a second one. Alright, so you have 2 ears, and 2 arms, and 2 legs. Alright, now we're going to work on the top of the head. I'm going to take 2 of my caramel, 2 more, and 2 more. Now I'm going to take a double looped caramel, and again here, and on the other side here, and here. Okay, let's make our eyes. So I'm going to be making yellow eyes. Alright, so you'll need 2 bands of your eye color plus 2 black for this. Alright, so I'm going to take my eye color. I'm going to wrap it around my hook, creating 4 loops with it. Okay, and then I'm going to take a black and do the same. 3, 4. Then I'm going to grab one of the loops of the yellow, bring it over to the other side of the black, and do the same with the second loop. So 2 of the loops are on one side of the black and 2 are on the other. Grab 2 caramel bands onto your hook, and we're going to pull that eye onto those bands. So first we're going to take the 2 yellow, then the 4 black, then the 2 yellow, like that. And if you look at your eye, you'll see you have a crisscross in the back, and the front looks nice and neat. We're gonna make sure the front is facing this direction as we put it on this peg and this peg. All right, and then you just twist the eye so the nice part is facing this way. Okay, let's make our second eye. So taking yellow, again wrapping it around our hook, creating 4 loops. Then take a black, do the same. 3, 4. Then taking 2 loops of the yellow onto the other side of the black. Okay. Then taking your 2 caramel bands onto your hook, pulling over the yellow. Whoops. Then the black. Ooh. Then the other yellow. Okay, just like that. Placing those ends there, these ends here, and twisting the eye so the nice part is facing that way, facing down. Going to take another caramel and cap off this end, wrapping it around the peg, creating 4 loops. I'm now taking a double looped caramel band, and I'm making a horizontal band by creating a triangle with that double looped band. Now you're going to take your ears and you're going to put them onto your hook. So you stick your hook through the loop, the caramel loops, and then you want to take off that holding band. Right? Let's do the same with the other. So stick the loops of the other one on as well. And now we're going to take double looped caramel band onto the end of the hook, pulling both ears onto that. Okay, I'm going to place one end of the double looped band here and the other on the other side. Spread your ears apart. Go in between and grab two of the bands from the middle. A little tricky. And bring them over that peg. So 2 of the bands are behind the peg and 2 are in front. Okay, and there's 1 ear on each side. Alright, so now we can begin looping. So going under the capping band here, grabbing the top two eye bands, which are these two, looping those, make sure they're not twisted. Then grab the next two, and then we can loop up the whole thing. So here, and here, and here, and here, and here, here, and here. Alright, taking 3 random color bands. Again, I'm just going to use white, tying off these 3 loose ends at the end here. So here's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. And you're going to carefully pull it off. If you need to use your hook to help you, use your hook. Okay, so it looks funny, but don't worry about it because this is only the top of the head. We have to connect it to the bottom of the head. You can turn the eyes so that nice part's facing out. If the nice part went away, just fix it. Alright, so now let's do the bottom of the head. So now I am taking 3 of my caramel bands right here. Oops. Try that again. 3 bands right here. Okay, then I'm going to take 2 white bands. 2 white bands here, and 2 white bands here. Okay, and I'm going to take 2 caramel bands here, and then 3 caramel bands here. So 3. Here. Okay, I'm going to double loop a caramel. That goes there. Another one double loops here. Another one here. Another one here. Now I'm going to take 2 caramels here. 2 here. I'm going to take 2, and I'm going to stretch them all the way here, so we're overstretching, okay? And then 2 more here. Alright, now I'm going to take a double looped caramel band. That's going to go here. And another one is going to go here. Now, we're going to do the nose. You can use a burgundy or a black. I'm going to use a burgundy. So burgundy wrapped around the tip, creating 4 loops like that. Alright. So now as we loop up, we're going to attach the top portion of the head. So, going under your capping band, grabbing the top 2 bands, looping those. Okay, and then I'm also going to loop up these 2. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So grabbing the 2 bands, looping up these 2. Alright, same thing with the 3 bands. So grab these 3 and just loop those up. Alright, now you're going to grab your head. You're going to turn it upside down. Okay, upside down. Go through your capping band in between the eyes. So go through all 4 loops. Make sure your head's upside down, so the ears should be on the bottom. I'm going to attach that right here. Those loops go right around that peg. And then I'm just going to loop up once and twice there. Okay. Now you can kind of lift your head up a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into, you have your eyes and you have the caramel bands that your eyes are on, and then you have the set of double looped, you have the double looped band behind that. You're going to go through the sides of that double looped band. So it looks like you're going through 4 bands. Okay, you see the 4, you can count 4 on your hook. I'm going to spread that open and attach that right here. Then you're going to loop up one set, okay? Let's do the same on the other side. So you were going through the set of bands above the bands that the eye's attached to, okay? And you're wrapping those right around this peg here. And then you are looping up once. All right? Now, we have our 3 loose ends here that are tied off. Go through this one on the side. So go through the loops, caramel loops, and wrap those right around this peg here. And do the same on the other side. Going through these, wrapping right around here. Okay? We're going to loop those. So loop these, and loop these. And then we want to make sure we get the 2 white bands here. Don't forget that. Don't forget these. Loop those up. Then you're going to go through the final set here. Loop those right around that peg. Go down, grab all 3 bands, loop them up. And we're going to take, I'm just going to use a black band here. It doesn't matter what color. You can use white again if you want to, if you really want to. But if you have another color, use another color. So just doing a slip knot with a different color. And we're going to pull this off. Okay, we have to make a few small adjustments to this before it's ready, because the snout looks wide and we're going to narrow it a little bit. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take off the 3 white holding bands. So pull those off. Alright, you can pull up your ears. Okay. Now, if your eye's kind of stuck inside the head like mine, just maneuver it out a little bit, just like that. And you're going to pinch the nose, okay, so pinch that. And then, if you want to, like me, what I did with my gray one was I kind of tied it together at the bottom, which is optional. Alright, so what I did was I turned the head upside down, I went through these loops, these loops, these loops, and these loops. So it looks like you're going through 8 bands, kind of. Then I grabbed another caramel band, and I pulled that through them. Then I did a slip knot with that caramel band, kind of pulled the nose, or the snout inward a little bit. And then what I did was I went into the head, and then I just pulled that into the head. Actually, that's not a good spot to pull it in. Pull it into the head, if you can. It's a little tricky. A little bit tricky. As long as it's not really sticking out, it should be fine. Alright, that's totally up to you if you want to tie it like that. Totally up to you. Alright, cute. So there's his little head. So now let's make his stomach, okay? Alright, so I'm taking white bands now for the stomach. And just follow me. We're taking 2 at a time. Alright, so I did 7 times I went down, and now I'm also taking 2 at a time and Okay, so 2 here, sorry. I was just checking my diagram. I had written something down wrong, but it happens. Don't worry, it's fine. Alright. So 2 at a time like that. All right, now let's double loop a white here. And here. And here. Right, again, double looped, double looped, double looped, like that. Okay. Now I'm going to take another double looped white, double looped white here for horizontal, another one here. Now I'm going to take 2 whites at a time. So 2, and another set here, like that. All right. All right. We're going to widen the stomach a little bit. So before we do that, let's cap off our end. So just wrap a white band around this peg, creating 4 loops. Okay. Take a white band onto your peg, wrap it around, creating 4 loops, double loop a white, pull that onto that, okay, and another one, and one more, I'm going to wrap that right here. So wrap your loose ends right there. Let's make another one. 2, 3, 4. Double loop. Double loop. Double loop. That, okay. Wrap those ends right around this peg here. Okay. And we're going to leave it like that for a sec. Okay. So we're going to start looming now. So loop up here. Pull up the top 2 here. And these. And let's go down this row. So here, 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 and here. Stop there. Do the same on this side. And we're going to go up most of the middle as well. Middle, we're stopping here. Okay, I'm going to start lifting this, but watch me first, because you don't want to lift up too much. Alright, so I'm just lifting up to there. Alright. Alright. Now I'm going to go through the capping band on the little knob thing, and you are going to wrap that around this peg here, and then you're going to loop that set of bands. Just like that, and then you can even do the next set here. Okay, so same thing over here, go through the knob, or the capping band on the knob, wrap those right around this peg here. Loop up here, loop up here, and then we're taking 2 white bands, and pulling them through all the bands at the end. Make a slip knot with these 2 white bands. Okay. and then just pull the rest off. This is going to be the stomach. Okay, and it should bend up a little bit. That's good. You want it to do that. All right, it looks like a boat, kind of. All right, so put that aside. And now we are going to be doing the main body and attaching everything to it. So, 3 caramel bands here. And 3 again. And again. And again. All right. So 4 sets of 3 bands. Now I'm going to take 2 at a time. So now I'm taking 2, okay? 2 bands at a time, and I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. Just like that. And now I'm going to take 2, and I'm going to, where you have the, on the 5th peg in the middle, from the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This peg to this peg, we are putting them, okay? Just like that. All right. Then we are going to go down 4 times with double bands. So once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So 2 here. Go down once, twice, 3 times. Whoops, mess everything up. 4 times. Okay. Now I'm going to double loop. Double loop, double loop. Here. And here. Same thing on the other side. So we're double looping here and here. Okay, now I'm going to take 2 caramels. We're overstretching here, like this. Okay, now we're going to do our horizontals. So we're going to double loop a single caramel, double loop another. Okay, and now I am taking 2 at a time. Alright, so 2 caramels at a time. Like that. Alright, so the only double looped horizontals are these 2. Okay? Alright, let's grab our head. We're going to go through the 6 loops that the black band is going through. Okay? And we are going to wrap that right around here. Okay? So the head is upside down. Make sure your head is upside down, okay? Once you've done that, you're going to pull the head forward, grab the top 2 bands and loop them, and then grab the next 2 bands and loop them. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my stomach, and you have your thinner end and your thicker end. You're going to go through, we could go through the capping band. Go through the capping band. Okay. And make sure your stomach is curving upward so it looks like a right side up boat. Attaching that capping band right around the same peg you attached the head to. Just like that. Now I'm going to loop the final 2 bands here. So loop those 2 bands up. Alright. And then we can loop up the middle. Like that. Okay. Now I'm going to pull up the boat stomach like that. And now we are going to go through the side bands. So grabbing these, grabbing these 2, wrapping them around that peg, and then looping up these 2 bands. Okay, same thing on the other side. So grabbing these two, wrapping those around that band, looping up those two bands like that. Okay. Now we're going to grab our little arms. So grab an arm and stick your hook through the 6 loose loops. You can pull off your capping band if you want to. Alright, this we are attaching right onto that peg that we just looped up to. So right onto here, and make sure your elbow of your arm is facing that direction. Make sure it's not facing this direction, okay? We're going to do the same thing on the other side with the other one. Right here. Alright. Oh, I forgot to take the... I mean, you can leave the tie band on and just take it off after if you want to. That's totally fine. But I'm just going to take it off now. Alright, that goes on. Same thing, make sure your elbow is facing that way. Okay? Alright, once we've done that, then we can go through the next set of loops in the stomach. So, so you have this set here. We're going to go through the middle of that and wrap those 4 bands, or it looks like 4 bands, but it's really not, around that same peg. Then loop up. Be very careful here. This is a double looped band, and if it breaks, you have to fix it. Alright, so same thing on this side. Go through the 4 bands, wrap them around that peg, and loop that double looped band. Pray it doesn't break. Okay. And now the next set, attached onto that peg, loop up. Same thing over here. I try not to go through the horizontal bands that are in the stomach. I try just to go through the vertical bands because it tends to get more difficult and messy if you go through the horizontal bands too. So we're just going to keep going, but before we do any more, I'm going to lift up a little bit because you don't want to overstretch the stomach or the bands are going to snap. So as we go along and do this, we have to lift up the upper part of the body. Alright, so just lifting up a couple pegs of our guy. Okay. Alright, once we've done that, then we can go through the next set. So just use your judgment as to how far you want to lift your guy. Just don't lift him too far. Okay, I'm going to lift him up a little bit more, just 1 peg length worth. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing again. So going through the next set. All the bands we are going through should be double looped. Okay, don't go through the regular not double looped bands, only the double looped ones that are on the edges. This is my new stomach attachment technique. I hope you all like it, and if you use it, please give me credit. There is a chance that there are other people that already know how to do it this way, like attaching things together. But honestly, I didn't steal it from anybody. I kind of came up with it on my own, so if anybody is mad at me about that, I'm sorry. I figured it out too. Oh, wait. Hold on. Undo that. Undo. Undo that, because this is where we are attaching the legs first before we do that, so just pull that back up. Alright, we want to attach our back legs here, so grab one of your back legs. This one is going to go let's say like this. No, this way. Yeah, okay, so grab this one. So grab the one that looks like this. Alright. And we're going to go through the 8 bands. This is a little tricky because there's 8 bands, so it's a thick set of bands. Alright, and that, I hope that's right. We are attaching all those loops around this peg here. I'm pretty sure that's the way I want it to go. I hope. Alright, so the little elbow is facing up. Yeah. The little elbow is facing up. Oh, before we loop though, we want to attach more stomach. So grab the next section of your stomach. Wrap that around there. Okay, and then loop the bands. Oops. Don't worry about that tying band. If it gets in the way, we can just rip that off later. Alright, let's do the same thing on the other side. So grab your other leg. Go through the 8 loops. You can kind of just follow that tying band through if you're confused as to how to go through. Just follow the tying band through, and we're going to attach that again so the elbow is facing up right here. Alright, and then again, going through the loops here, wrapping them right around here, and looping up these 2 bands. Okay? And I believe that is all I attached. Right? Yeah. Or no. Nah, let's attach this a little bit more stomach, but I'm going to pull him up a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, so go through the next set of loops. You can attach that right there. Here. And on this side as well. Alright, so you have some loops left over there at the bottom of the stomach, which is fine. Don't forget to pull this back and loop these 2 caramels, okay? We're not going to attach anything here though, okay? So we're just going to leave the stomach like that. And now we are going to just loop up this portion of the tail. Okay. We're going to tie off this end. So slipknot the end here. Pull this off. Okay. Yay. Okay, that ended up being correct. Good. I'm going to pull off the tying bands on the body, but I don't, because I don't need them anymore. So the one around the head, and there's some around the legs. Whoops. If your thing did not attach, like 2 of my bands are coming off, which happens sometimes, we can fix that. So pretty much, if you have loose loops here, it's good that this happens so I can show you how to do this. Just stick your hook through some of the leg bands and through the loops that aren't attached. Grab a caramel band and pull it through all those bands. You're going to slip knot that. Okay. And then you can go into the body and just pull that into the body. Just like that. It's not a big deal. Yeah, so if that ever happens, that's all you have to do, and watch it happen with the other leg too. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Okay, that one was fine. Alright, so that's all you have to do if that happens to you. Okay, so you can pinch the stomach a little bit. Okay. The two loops here at the end, tighten them up, and then you want to go into the stomach with your hook and pull them into the stomach. Okay, you can kind of like push them in if you want to. Now we're going to finish up the tail, okay? It's a little bit twisted, so you can untwist it if it's twisted. Alright, now let's finish up the tail. So, we're going to take double looped caramel. And again. And again. And now I'm going to take 3 at a time, and I'm going to go down 8 times with 3 bands. So 1, oops. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So we didn't go down the last peg length. You're going to take your guy, I'm going to go through the loops. I'm going to attach him right side up. I don't think it really matters. The tail will bend upward if you attach him right side up. Then I'm going to loop up just these bands, finishing up his tail. Okay, once I've done that, I'm just going to tie a caramel at the end, pull it off, and again taking off the tying knot right here, and we can adjust these bands so they're not twisted up. You just play with them and untwist them so they look nice and neat. Okay. And then we can pull this loose band into the tail. So it's a little tricky, so you can just go through the double looped bands and just kind of weave this band through just to kind of neaten the end of the tail so it's not all weird looking. Okay, just like that. Cute, right? And let's put a little bow. This one I actually want to be the boy, so I'm actually going to not leave the bow on. But actually, let's do the grass first. So grab 2 green bands. We're going to go through his little paw. Let's go through this paw. Okay, so I'm going through the 5 loops in the paw, the end of the paw, pulling the green bands through, like halfway, like that. And then you just take some scissors and just cut the ends. So you end up with him holding like grass, as if he's eating the grass. Okay, and here I'll show you how to do the bow. Grab a pink band, wrap it 6 times around your hook. So I created 6 loops with the pink band. Then I'm going to grab 4 pink bands onto my hook and pull the loops onto those pink bands. Okay. Let go. I'm going to take one of those bands that I pulled through. I'm going to do a slip knot with it. Okay, like that. Alright, you pick which ear you want it to go on. put it in front of the ear, and you take the loop at the end of the slip knot and you just wrap it around the ear like 4 or 5 times. Okay, and then you can kind of just rest it on. So now she's got a little bow. Okay, she's got her grass, so cute. And then if you take some 20 gauge wire, you can put it through the legs and pose the legs so they're not sticking out, so they're more like this one. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So there are your little baby kangaroos, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to visit the Facebook page in the description and post pictures of them so I can see. I'd love to see them. And that's pretty much it. Hailie, hope you enjoyed. I hope you made them, or made at least one, and I'd love to see pictures. Okay? Alright, everybody. Look forward to the mother. I'm going to be doing the mother soon, and I'm planning on making her big enough so the babies, or at least one baby, will be able to fit into the pouch. Okay? Be so cute. Alright, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful day, and I will see you for the next tutorial next week. And happy Halloween, by the way.